What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. This is my weekly gaming news show, so let's get right into the games. So let's start off talking this week about a Twitch streamer by the name of Phantom Lord who is currently suing Twitch for banning him from Twitch. Now this one seems like a no-brainer because it's pretty much up to Twitch to determine who streams on their platform. And you would think when it comes to the EULA, the End User License Agreement, that you need to create an account, or when it comes to becoming a partner, the contract you sign there, you think they're going to be ironclad and airtight, and Twitch can ban somebody for any reason, right? That's what you'd think. And it looks like the reason Twitch banned him was a fairly good reason. I'm not going to go into a lot of the details, but allegedly, he got wrapped up in that whole CSGO skin lottery scam, and allegedly he was part of a website or the owner of a website that he would frequently feature on his streams, and allegedly, supposedly, was making it look like you could win a lot easier than you could on his live streams to encourage people to go there and to gamble away their skins and spend real money. But it does look like Phantom Lord actually may have a leg to stand on here because according to him, the contract that he had signed with Twitch said that before they banned him, they would need to give him a 30-day warning to give him an opportunity to correct whatever it was he was doing wrong before they banned him. And I guess this is because what he was doing was not exactly against any of the stated hard and fast rules, so they decided to ban him based on this, but it wasn't like one of those stated things or agreed to things. And so according to him, his contract requires them to give him a 30-day notice to correct whatever behavior it was. And then if he didn't correct the behavior, then they could ban him. However, if what they're alleging is true, then he was violating FTC rules, and that violates Twitch's rules, so I guess that would be a fair banning anyway. Now, this banning actually happened 2 years ago, so we waited quite some time to actually try to piece this together and put it out there. But at the time, he had 1.4 million followers, which is like 10 times what I have on Twitch. But at the end of the day, I mean, that is a very lucrative position that he was in. And he's saying because he was making so much money, and since it's a wrongful termination, I'm sure he's suing them for quite a bit of money. I would imagine $1 million plus. Now, at the end of the day, I don't think Phantom Lord has much of a case here. Though I will say Twitch does have a very bad tendency to apply the rules just like YouTube. These people get punished, these people don't. These people get demonetized, these people don't. This person gets partnered, this person doesn't. This person gets a second chance, this person gets banned right away. I don't understand, and sometimes it has, a lot of people guess as to what that is. Maybe it's because this person is conservative, that person's liberal, this person's male, that person's female. Who knows exactly what the reasoning is? But I would like to see Twitch start applying that stuff more unilaterally, being more lenient in some situations and less lenient in other situations. Find like a middle ground and just stick to that middle ground. And I guess if they keep getting sued, something like that very well may happen. And who knows? I've never seen his contract. If a lawyer says that he has a leg to stand on, maybe he does. And you might be able to convince a judge to give you this money. And if you do, even if it's $10 million, it won't really affect Twitch's bottom line because they're owned by Amazon, and Amazon can just eat the loss. At the end of the day, though, I do hope it has a positive impact on Twitch and how they enforce the rules. Now, this week's video is sponsored by the folks over at the Verve app. If you want to support me, all you got to do is go to vrv.co/BOOGIE and download the Verve app. You can get it on your PlayStation, your Xbox One, your tablets, your phone. You can get it on just about any device. And Verve is an all-in-one app that includes stuff like Crunchyroll and Funimation, Geek and Sundry, Rooster Teeth, Nerdist, you name it. It's pretty much all here in the same app. Now, not only does Verve have some of my favorite shows in existence, like Harmon Quest, which I've been binge watching because I'm running a D&D campaign, and I've been using it for inspiration, though admittedly, they're way funnier and way better at that game than I'll ever be as a DM. But they also have a lot of exclusive shows like Last Man, and I have to say, I sat down and watched this in its entirety, and it was completely different than I expected. This is one of those new French animation shows, and you'll see a lot of that stuff on Verve, and I have to say, it is very different than I expected, but well worth the watch. So do me a favor and go to verve.co/BOOGIE and download the app today, and you get access to all the cool features like offline viewing and exclusive shows, as well as some of your favorites. And if you click on that link, you can sign up for a 30-day free trial, and your entire experience will be ad-free, and you'll be supporting me at the same time. So it's that time again. We're going to talk about loot boxes again, and I know you're a little bored of the topic, but this time it's some fairly exciting news because the state of Hawaii, as promised 2 months ago, has proposed legislation that may change loot boxes forever. So there are 4 pieces of legislation that are up. The first of which would prohibit sales of loot box games to consumers younger than 21 years old, which would basically make them rated M for mature. It also defines loot boxes as a randomized in-game reward that can be bought for real money. Then there's also 2 other bills before the chambers, which require video game publishers to label their games with notices that they contain loot boxes and disclose what the rates are of receiving each reward in the system. Now, when it comes to revealing drop rates, that's something I really, really wish that they would do and make that information readily available in-game as part of the EULA or part on the website or something along that lines. And China actually requires them to do that right now, but some developers have found a loophole around that, and I imagine it would work with the Hawaii legislation as well. Instead of selling the loot boxes directly to the consumer, you sell them an in-game currency instead, and then that in-game currency unlocks the loot boxes so you don't have to divulge that information. Though I don't know why a developer wouldn't want to divulge the information. It just seems fair. Even Las Vegas casinos have to stick to a certain win-loss ratio as required by law. So if you're not doing what the casinos in Vegas are doing, then you are truly evil. And when it comes to not selling these games to anybody under the age of 21, I don't know that I agree with that, though I've seen a lot of other YouTubers and a lot of other people in the gaming industry call for that. I would have been happy with just a T for teen and listing it as the reason for the rating on the box. But this is what happens when it comes to government intervention. They are, of course, going to overreach. You know, in the 90s, politicians were trying to get video games regulated by the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Division. So this is why the ESRB should have done their jobs and done what they were supposed to do and get this put on the label and get it rated T for teen or maybe M for mature when this stuff is in the game. Now you got government intervention. Nobody wants that, and here we have it. And at the end of the day, I find myself really torn on this topic because I despise government regulation in the industry and in video games. I don't want that happening, but that's where we are. But anything that is going to make it more difficult to do the loot box thing will be better. And maybe, just maybe, we can get EA and Ubisoft and all these different companies to shrug and say, you know what, there's probably a better way to do it. Let's just sell them what's in the loot boxes directly. Maybe they will like that better. Trust me, I would like that better. Of course, here's an idea. You could sell a complete version of the game for about $60 or maybe a few dollars more, and I would buy that version of the game as long as all of the DLC and all of the content was in it. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. Now, when it comes to new games to play, this is an older game, and I guess I should still recommend it anyway. If you own a Nintendo Switch and you never owned a Wii U, you really should give Bayonetta 2 a try. And if you never played the original Bayonetta, it's not as good as Bayonetta 2, but it's still absolutely fantastic, though I did play it on the 360 a long time ago. I picked this up. It's got a 90 score at Metacritic. Bayonetta 2 has a 92 score at Metacritic, so it's a hell of a game. And I just got to tell you, they don't make games like this anymore, and I really wish they did. Whether it's the boss fight, I mean, the boss fights in this game are insane. The very first fight in Bayonetta 2 is better than some of the in-game fights from other games I played. So I do highly recommend this, though if you're easily offended by sexuality in a video game, this game is probably not for you, but you're probably not watching my channel, let's be honest. And then finally, in remastering news, it looks like they're remastering one of my favorite games of all time from one of my favorite franchises of all time, and that is Burnout Paradise. It's remastered in HD with all of the DLC and everything else included. And I have to say, I would rather this was just a new Burnout game and they would revitalize that franchise because I don't like any of the other racers that are out these days. What I liked about Burnout was the whole concept of the crashes and the crash experience and the little mini maps and stuff like that, the little mini adventures. But at the end of the day, this was a decent open world experience with the Burnout engine. It was not my favorite in the Burnout series, but it's still really, really good. And I'm hoping that if this sells well enough, we will finally get a new Burnout game. So please buy this. I know I'm going to, even though I've already played it on PC as well as Xbox on Xbox One, emulating the 360. I'll still buy this, and I'm still going to play through it in the HD version, especially with all the DLC. And that's going to do it for this week. This is the stories that were interesting to me. I'm curious to see what you think I missed. Let me know in the comments section below. While you're down there, don't forget to click on that link in the description box and check out the Verve app. Thanks again for them sponsoring this. And if you choose to download it and try the 30-day free trial, you'll be supporting me as well. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I love you very much. I'll speak with you again soon.